Hello and welcome back to the Winning Agenda. We've got old mate Isaac Egan back here again for some more pack cracking.
Yeah. I've been really enjoying Flesh and Blood. I was like, what am I going to do this weekend besides play some Magic, some constructed Magic? I'm going to crack some Flesh and Blood boosters.
So we had you cracking an Arcane Rising booster box, sorry, a Tales of Aria booster box last time, and there I've just let the cat out of the bag. This is a case of Arcane Rising Unlimited this time.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So Isaac, you've been playing a bit of Bravo in Constructed, as we discussed in the last video. Arcane Rising obviously doesn't feature Bravo as a hero, but there are some kind of key generics in this set, particularly Arcanite Skullcap, a nice headpiece for Bravo, and Command and Conquer, which generic that's pretty good in most decks. So those are kind of the two things that you're hunting for out of this case. As well as obviously the fabled Ivophidia goes pretty well into Bravo, but I think you're in for a bit of a treat as well. You've opened a few Arcane Rising packs before, but Arcane Rising kind of has a really cool feel about it. Visually, all the hero and the class cards are quite interesting and distinct. The four classes in the set, we've got Wizard, Ranger, Mechanologist, and Runeblade. So they're all kind of like interesting twists that aren't quite so generic. Like in Welcome to Wraith, we had Ninja, Guardian, Warrior, and Brute, which are kind of a bit of just generic fantasy stuff. Whereas with Runeblade, Mechanologist, Ranger, and Wizard's generic as well, but the other three you get a bit of kind of an interesting twist on it. So anyway,
I saw a Mechanologist when I was looking at some deck lists, and I was like, oh, what does this dash hero do? And it said a bunch of things I didn't understand. Didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, so we'll talk a bit more about the mechanics as we go through, but definitely a bit more diversity, I think. When I was first checking out the game, like I was interested in it from Welcome to Wraith, but I actually didn't end up buying any cards until Monarch. But I have to say, when I saw Arcane Rising cards, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I see how this game is actually quite deep. Kind of goes beyond just the generic mechanics that we had in Welcome to Wraith, which is always going to be the way when you go from a first set into expansions. So some nice purple packs. And how are you going tonight anyway, Isaac?
Really well, actually. Had a really fun night tonight. So,
you played some Harry Potter cooperative.
Yeah, so Harry Potter like Battle for Hogwarts, I think is what it's called. With my partner, Wenshin. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you slay any Dementors?
We swoonded a variety of villains. Yeah, there's like, so we played the camp one, and who's the bad guy in the first movie again?
Quirrell.
Quirrell? Yeah.
Professor Quirrell? Yeah, got him.
Crab and Goyle.
And classic.
Yeah, it was fun.
So we've got some Enchanting Melody is our first rare there. Take Aim. So Enchanting Melody generic, Take Aim Ranger, and then a foil Read the Runes. So a foil common to start off, and then of course class cards towards the back there. So Take Aim is kind of a key Ranger card. That non-attack action there fits really well into Azalea, in particular the Ranger from this set. Gives you a buff for your next attack, gets you an arrow into your arsenal, cost 0, everything you could want really. Pack 2, got Arena's Prayer. You'll see Knock the Death Whistle, first super rare.
Super rare. Okay.
So that's a rarity that only existed in the first two sets, between Rare and Majestic, and they got rid of Super Rare after Arcane Rising. But yeah, Knock the Death Whistle is one of them.
Is it any good?
It is good. It's one of the Azalea specializations. It's probably the only blue that you'd play in most Azalea decks, but it's a tutor. It puts your best arrow that you want at the moment you want it on top of your deck, and then Azalea's ability lets you stick it into your arsenal with Dominate. So gets you whatever arrow you want, and then you can give that arrow dominate. It's pretty good. Everyone loves a zero cost tutor.
Oath of Arknight and reduce to Rune Chant. And then foil Spellblade Strike.
We'll do the old invert, eh?
Yeah.
So triple Runeblade in that pack. 2 Runeblade rares and a Runeblade foil.
Mm-hmm.
So the Runeblade in this set was Viserai. And I know that at this point, Tales of Aria has just been released, and we've got a lot of people, particularly when Bri was spoiled, saying, oh my gosh, there's a Runeblade in the last 3 sets. But, Runeblade is obviously one of the interesting, both mechanically interesting in terms of the way the game functions, but also interesting from a flavor perspective, I think. And Viserai was the Runeblade from this set. Achilles Accelerator, Silver the Tip, another Ranger rare, Pedal to the Metal, a Dash rare for Mechanologist, and Scalding Rain, a Wizard foil. So all of the, or most of the Wizard cards in this set are non-attack actions, and you'll see that most of them deal arcane damage. So Wizard doesn't really have attack actions that deal damage. It's all about playing non-attack actions that deal arcane damage. Hence Arcane Rising, I guess. Arena's Prayer, a rare that prevents arcane damage. Either Spindle, a Wizard, and Read the Runes, a Runeblade card for the foil. So Viserai as a Runeblade was all about these rune chant tokens. Viserai's ability helps you to generate rune chants, and a lot of the stuff that Viserai does has sort of payoffs for having lots of rune chants in play, which is kind of a cool mechanic. You create all these little caltrops, little bombs that then explode later. Talismanic Lens, a blue take cover, not the best of defense reactions. Mordred Tide, that's a nice majestic for Viserai, helps you make the bajillion rune chant tokens. So there's a really cool like one turn kill sort of Viserai deck, or Viserai decks that try to build up rune chants and then smash you with them, and Mordred Tide just really helps you to do that, helps you accelerate into them. And Enchanting Melody is actually not a bad sideboard card in some Runeblade decks, just for the fact that it's, if you don't want to play defense reactions, you can play this on your turn, and it'll prevent 4 damage on their turn, but you get all the benefits that you get for playing non-attack actions. So it's kind of like a non-attack action version of a defense reaction.
Yeah. So cost 2 has go again. If your hero would be dealt damage, instead destroy Enchanting Melody and prevent 4 damage that source would deal. At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Enchanting Melody unless you have played a non-attack action card this turn. Okay, so you just, if you keep playing non-attack action cards, then this just stays here unless they do damage, yeah?
Unless they hit you, yeah.
So it's not just, they can't just like take a turn off to kill it. You can,
no.
Yeah. Back it up with another non-attack action.
That's right. And it's particularly good because it pops on the first instance of damage. It's particularly good against decks that are trying to hit you like once and hit you hard. So it's good against Guardian, for example. Less good against Mechanologist or Prism or various other things that are hitting you with lots of little attacks. Take Aim, a red one this time, probably the best of those. Another Arena's Prayer, this time a yellow. Not one that sees a lot of play. Hyperdriver for the Mechanologist item. So that's one of the things about Mechanologist that distinguishes it from the other classes, is that it's got these item cards that stay in play. So you, as opposed to most classes in Flesh and Blood, you're actually building up a board as the game goes on, and you get stronger and stronger, whereas usually the arc is in Flesh and Blood that your character starts at its strongest and then just gets weaker and weaker as you exhaust all your equipment throughout the game and deplete your deck.
Yeah. That is confusing. I don't understand how that card works. Which, it's just got a lot of keyword abilities that I haven't heard. So.
Yeah. A lot of them function with Steam counters, either placing and then removing Steam counters, or just starting with a certain number of Steam counters and then depleting them, and then the resource eventually dies. Convection Amplifier, another item. Stir the Ether Winds. And a foil Spellblade Strike. Yeah, so one of the good things about cracking like a case of Flesh and Blood like this is you do end up with kind of play sets of all the rares. So as we said in the last video, rares are kind of like uncommons for other TCGs. And so ending up with a play set of most of the rares from the set, a play set of all the commons, means you can put together, a decent gauntlet deck of most of the classes. So another Pedal to the Metal from Dash.
Ooh.
Ooh, gonna have to edit that one out. Pedal to the Metal from Dash. Absorbent Aether for the Wizard, Kano, and Voltic Bolt. Just a cheeky bolt to the face. Yeah, so you'll see most of the Kano cards, most of the Wizard cards are just kind of bolts to the face, but then you've got a few like Stir the Aether Winds that will let you amplify damage, and also some that will let you look for cards off the top. So Viserai, the Runeblade hero. Another Arena's Prayer. Certainly had our fill of Arena's Prayers early on. Reduced to Rune Chant, this time red, which is a pretty good one. Oh, and a Majestic 3 of a kind. So Majestic number 2. That's pretty high Majestic rates. So because there were super rares in this set, sometimes you only get 2 Majestics in a box. So that's why Command and Conquer and some of the other Majestics from these first 2 sets are a little harder to come by, because Majestics actually were a little bit rarer. And 3 of a kind is certainly a good one. It's really good in Lexi, the new Ranger from Tales of Aria. Probably even better in Lexi than in Azalea. It's definitely seeing a lot of play at the moment.
Foil Majestic.
Oh, that was a foil, was it? Nice. Foil 3 of a kind.
Foil 3 of a kind. I think we've only got we've got 1 super rare and we've got 2 Majestics at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
One of which is foil.
One of which is foil. Sweet. I mean, it could have been a foil Command and Conquer, but getting a foil Majestic at all is really cool in a box. That's nice.
Yeah.
And
draw 3 cards.
Yeah, foil Ancestral Recall. I mean, you're not going to complain about that, are you?
No.
1 cost, draw 3 cards. Life for a Life. A yellow take cover.
And a foil.
Either Sync, is it?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. You clearly know these cards quite well.
Well, you look at them enough and you start to remember them reasonably well. I'm actually not terribly familiar with a lot of the Mechanologist cards. The card pool, my friend Daniel, who's appeared in a few of our videos, local player as well in Melbourne, plays a Dash deck and plays Mechanologist very well, but it's not one that I've personally put together. Oh no, the super rare, Tome of the Arknight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I played more against Dash than with it. Runeflash Red. So Tome of the Arknight is a really interesting one. It's a generic Runeblade super rare, and it's actually pretty useful in just most Runeblades, because most Runeblades play on this attack action, non-attack action division in your deck, and having kind of an equal weighting of them. And Tome of the Arknight rewards you for that, giving you a potential draw 2. And if you've got any opt or any ability to know what's on top of your deck, it can obviously just be a 1 cost draw 2, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, 1 cost draw 2, go again. That seems alright if you can pull it off.
Yeah. One of my opponents in an armory event played in tonight did just blind pull that off against me, and it prolonged their turn in quite a painful way for me.
Painful in terms of you would hit points on your hero, or painful in terms of you weight?
Both.
Both. Excellent.
Pour the Mold. Life for a Life.
And a foil Read the Runes.
If you're going to have a foil Read the Runes, you'd want it to be red. I think you've actually got 3 foil Read the Runes now, though. Maybe 1 of each colour.
Read the Runes, Read the Runes, Read the Runes. Yep, 1 of each colour.
There you go. So you might have to build a Viserai deck after this.
So, what is the fables in this set?
I have a Fidia.
Yeah, and what does Fidia do?
So it's a blue pitch, so pitches for 3, doesn't defend, and when you pitch it, opt 2.
Oh, okay, that seems decent.
Yeah, so it works well with the aforementioned Tome of the Arknight. Plunder Run, probably one of the most important generic cards from the set. Sees a ton of competitive play in all three colours. Just really enables powerful turns. Drawn to the Dark Dimension, not a card I've ever seen played in a competitive deck, but it looks pretty weird. That artwork on that card is quite strange compared to other FaB artwork. But yeah, it's good to have a bit of diversity, I guess, in your art. Pour the Mold. Another take cover.
And
a take aim foil. There you go.
Like, I get that, like, rares are more, like, uncommon, like, if we were to compare them to let's say, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
But I just love seeing it for rare.
For rare, yeah. I mean, it's still nice, like, having foils in your deck. I mean, I have quite a few foils in my Prism deck because I opened way too many Monarch boxes. And even tonight I was playing it. And every time I draw, like, a sweet foil, it's just like, this looks so sick. It's, like, tilted up against the light a bit. Enchanting Melody. Silver the Tip. And a Sunkiss. So that's something else they do in FaB a little bit more probably than in Magic. Actually, they've started doing a bit more in Magic these days, and that is having packages of cards that refer to each other by name. Of course, the classic Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower, Urza's Mine is a good example from the olden days of Magic. But yeah, there are sort of one or two cards in each, one or two packages in each set that refer to each other by name and either let you tutor each other up or, are stronger if you've got the other one in your graveyard. So Forked Lightning, Wizard Super Rare. An interesting one because it has multiple instances of arcane damage, which you can amplify. So a lot of what Wizard's about is kind of exponentially increasing the amount of arcane damage that each subsequent spell does. So the fact that Forked Lightning has multiple instances on one card that can get amplified is kind of cool.
Are there different versions, or are they all red for Forked Lightning? Like,
all red. So Super Rares and Majestics only come in the single pitch. Whereas Rares and Commons you can get in all three pitches usually. A couple of exceptions.
Absorb in Ether.
So Wizard defense reaction.
Stir the Ether Winds. And foil Silver the Tip. I still love those 4 rares.
Still love them. So how are we looking on this box? Few packs left? 5 or 6?
We have 6 left.
Nice. So still time for hopefully another Majestic. So we've got 1 Majestic and 1 foil Majestic so far. So we'd be hoping to hit another one. 2 to 3 is kind of what we're looking for in each box. Breast of Belief, Spellblade Assault, either Spindle, and foil either Flare. Lots of either happening in the Wizard side of things. Life for a Life. Red in the Ledger, there's your Majestic number 2, or number 3 if you count the foil. Very powerful Azalea specialization. Less impactful now that Chain is out of the metagame, but it was one of the cards that hosed Chain hardest out of the whole card pool. And foil Vigor Rush. Yeah, so Azalea, unfortunately, a lot of people are hoping with the release of Tazvaria that Azalea would be a bit more competitively viable, but unfortunately Lexi's very good and there aren't that many tools for Azalea in the new set. But Red in the Ledger is still, in and of itself, a very, very powerful card. So a Take Aim, a red Oath of the Arknight. You're going to get very used to seeing all these rares by the time we get to the end of the 4th box. Especially because they all come in the 3 different pitch values. Probably a little bit unders on Plunder Run, though, I reckon. I think we might have only had one. Rusted Relic, another super rare. Just a cheeky arcane barrier. And Overloop. One of the cool things as well is that with the one foil in every pack, even in a box where you don't necessarily hit kind of the big hits that you want, you can get like a couple of interesting foils that can slot into a deck, which is kind of nice.
Oh, look, I do love foils, so.
Yeah. Sturdy Either Wins. There's another Plunder Run. And a foil. What is that? Reverberate? Yeah.
Reverberate. Deal 3 damage to target opposing hero. If Reverberate deals damage, you may banish a wizard non-attack action card from your hand with cost less than or equal to the damage dealt by Reverberate. If you do, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's one of the other mechanics that Wizard uses a lot, playing your non-attack actions as though they're an instant, so you can do your stuff on your opponent's turn after they've quote-unquote tapped out or used all their resources for the turn, so they can't activate their arcane barrier. You can try and get in some big damage at that point. Spellblade Assault. And Spark of Genius. Super rare.
Yeah. And Talismanic.
Foil Talismanic Lens. Cheeky foil equipment.
Alright, so no Command and Conquers in this box.
No legendary yet.
No legendary. But we do have from this box, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 super rares, and we got 3 majestics, one of which was foil.
Nice. So some good Viserai stuff and some very strong Ranger stuff there. With both the Azalea specializations, Red in the Ledger and Knock the Death Whistle, as well as Majestic 3 of a kind.
Alright, should I put these aside as we create the next box? Should I separate them? Or
maybe you leave them in a pile, leave them out, maybe leave them out in a row and then do the next ones. Yeah.
Put these here. Like
yeah, cool.
This.
Box 1. Sounds good.
Box 1.
Alright. So box number 2. So we're still looking for that Arcanite Skullcap so that you can add that to your Bravo deck. It's one of the last cards you need, I reckon. And those Command and Conquers, of course.
Command and Conquers and the
the Eye of Ophidia.
Eye of Ophidia, yeah. The eye, Jesse. We need the eye. All right.
It's actually, I mean, the price on these boxes is quite interesting too, because like if you go down to your local game store and pick up a set booster box of Modern Horizons 2, for example, it's going to set you back about like $330 to $350 Australian dollars, which is almost the same price as this entire case. So, you know, when you're opening a case of this, it's kind of like opening a premium booster box from Magic plus a little bit more, I guess. So a foil locked and loaded. So for those like me who played quite a bit of Netrunner, the Mechanologist, particularly that card, but a lot of the Mechanologist artwork is obviously very steampunk, but also cyberpunk. Like there's a lot of Netrunner type artwork going on there. A lot of green screens and lasers and things. Take cover and a force side. So there are also in Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising a couple of really good foil commons to get. Like some of the foil generic commons you are just going to see heaps of play. So in this set, Fate Foreseen is one of the generic commons, which is a just 0 cost defense reaction, defense for 4. So if you get a foil of the red one, that can be pretty cool. Arena's Prayer, Enchanting Melody, and Drawn to the Dark Dimension. Not one of the great commons.
Love cracking packs. I'm like, come on, family. Come on.
Come on. I might have to crack one of the Crucible boxes I bought the other day after this.
Yeah, I was in there and Jason mentioned that a bunch of his regulars bought a bunch of Crucible boxes because they announced it's going out of print.
Out of
Is that
print.
right?
Yeah, that's right. I've become the Arknight and a Fate Foreseen, but not a red, unfortunately, a blue. But Become the Arknight, definitely another good Viserai card. It's one of the Viserai specializations. And it is actually really interesting design because one of the weaknesses and difficulties about playing Runeblade is if you've got this deck that's split between attack actions and non-attack actions, if you draw all of one and none of the other, your turn is kind of a bit balked. But Become the Arknight lets you cycle your hand out to get the one you don't have, which is kind of cool. Pour the Mold, Take Cover, and Induction Chamber. So probably the most important card in Dash, and it's a foil. So that's kind of the core of a lot of the competitive Dash lists because it lets you give your pistol go again.
Okay.
So it lets you just keep getting in over and over again with your pistol because you can obviously have more than one in play.
I was looking at deck lists, trying to work at different things for Bravo and that kind of thing, and I saw that Matthew Rogers, who's a New Zealand player who I heard plays a lot of FaB, also used to play a bunch of Magic. He plays Dash.
So. He does. He did. He played Dash at the Nationals last year and was victorious, I believe. And he also won the calling earlier in the year, but that was a limited calling, so he was not playing Dash. But he also, I think, won a Road to Nationals with Dash again recently. A lot of people felt that Dash was probably not a player in the metagame, but I think that says more about Matt being a very good player than Dash being particularly strong. But it's always a good deck. Like, it's consistently fast and strong. Either Spindle, reduced to Rune Chant, and another Netrunner, Locked and Loaded. So no Majestic so far, but the two super rares, including a sweet little foil Induction Chamber. It's quite funny. I've actually, I think, opened 2 foil Induction Chambers. I haven't opened that many Arcane Rising boxes, but I've been quite lucky in that respect. Pedal to the Metal, Take Cover, and Optical Monocle with the very interesting spelling.
Oh.
I think the Optical Monocle's foil, is it?
It is not.
Oh, it's not. The Take Cover's foil, sorry. Yeah.
Yellow Take Cover is foil.
Yellow Take Cover, maybe, in some Azalea list. Stare That Either Wins, another Enchanting Melody, and nothing exciting. Yeah, so the graphic design in this set, quite interesting. You've got the kind of dark green on the Ranger cards. You've got the bluey purples on the Wizard cards, kind of washed out blue, bit of purple. And then you've got the deep purple on the Runeblade cards. And then the weird yellow-orange steampunk look on the Mechanologist cards. It makes for a pretty visually distinct classes, I reckon. Overloop and another red take aim, which is the best of the take aims.
Interesting thing, like when you mentioned that rares are kind of similar to uncommons in, let's say, again, compared to Magic.
Yeah.
It means that there are a lot of packs with no rares in them at all.
Yes. Yeah. Teglo Core. That is a very, very good Majestic. Yeah, it's good. Does the thing.
What is Take Core? Teklo Core.
So Teklo Core is basically just a way to load up for your big turns. So it gives you 2 lots of resources on the succeeding turns.
Okay, cool.
So you play it on one turn, have a bit of a turn off, and then you load up to try and have some really big turns the next couple of turns. And there's a card called High Octane in the set as well, which is a dash card that lets you generate action points and cards. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Oh, another super rare.
Super rare?
Oh, so 2 4 super rares in this box.
Yes. Yep.
Nice. And Teklo is a majestic, isn't it?
Teklo is a majestic,
and become the Arcanite super rare. Yeah, so you got one majestic, one super rare so far, and then the 2 foils.
Yeah.
Not bad. Good to hit some different super rares too. With the Arcanite, Tome of the Aetherwind, a nice little wizard super rare, and a foil enchanting melody. Foil rares.
I love them. You gotta love them. There's an arena open going on right now. Yeah, there you
go. Oh. Are you feeling tired, Isaac?
23 hours it starts, apparently.
Oh, 23 hours, not 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, arena opens. Such a hosing, the time zone.
Yeah, for Australians. Yeah.
Foil Cadaverous Contraband. Yeah, so Isaac and I, we both played in a sealed arena open last year and made it to day 2. And by the time it got to 3 in the morning on day 2, I was just like, oh, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, and we didn't even have any. Do you remember, like, because like I qualified for that event with was that Mythic that was absolutely broken in coma.
Yeah, that's right.
Life for a Life.
Spellblade Assault. And Come to Fight Blue. Not doing much for anyone. Yeah, you had. It does look cool. You had a coma in your day 1 pool, and then day 2 you didn't have a coma, and it was not as good.
In that day 1 pool, I had one coma and then one card that searched for like a the 6th grade or something. So
the Rootless U or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Reduce to Rune Chant. Take aim and throttle. Pretty cool artwork on throttle. The kind of mechanologist theme in some of the art of like the dude with the top hat. I don't know, quite like it. Very steampunk. So the mechanologist mechanic is called Boost, and it makes you banish a card from the top of your deck, and if it's a mechanologist card, the attack gets go again. So it's pretty much like every turn you can play out your whole hand. Or Sonic Boom, Mythic number 2.
Ooh.
Sorry, Majestic number 2, I should say. And a foil reduced to Rune Chant. Yeah, so Sonic Boom, good example of the wizard just boom, lots of damage situation.
Yeah. What is Sonic Boom read? Deal 3 arcane damage to target opposing hero. If Sonic Boom deals damage, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a wizard non-attack action card. Did I just did my camera just?
Yeah, it did. It just went boop.
It deals. If you do, you may. You can banish it. If you do, you may play it this turn as though it were an instant, and it costs X resources points less to play, where X is the damage dealt by Sonic Boom. Okay, cool.
So it's pretty strong. Like, if it hits, then you get another card at a discount, which is kind of like pretty strong for FaB. Like, even if it said, if it hits, draw a card would be pretty good, but if it hits, you get to banish and play with a discount is also good. I mean, there are obviously other advantages to drawing it into your hand in that you could pitch it for more resources, or Arsenal or whatever would be more versatile, but yeah, they're also getting the discount on the banish card is cool.
Still a tip. Some other thing that I don't know.
And a Ridge Rider shot.
Alright, we're down to 6 boosters for this box.
Alright, show us that Command and Conquer. We've already got 2 Majestics here, so hoping for a third in this box.
I was going to Conquer. And
so still no legendary and no foil majestic in this box, although the 2 foil super rares does make me a little bit skeptical about whether we're going to get a foil majestic. Pedal to the metal. Take aim. Got a lot of blue take aims. I think that's sometimes when you do these booster box openings, you just get like a million Oath of the Arknight or like a particular rare, like Arena's Prayer reduced to Rune Chant or Enchanting Melody. But I think for us today, it's all about the take aims. Either Spindle, Endless Arrow. It's a nice super rare. Also sees a bit of play in Lexi.
Another, you know me and my foil rares. I do like my foil rares. Absorb the ether.
Yeah, so they've kind of it's quite interesting how they've designed different defense reactions for different classes. Particularly in this set, you know, each class got a defense reaction which kind of played into their mechanic. And Absorb in either is one of those in that cycle. Pour the Mold. Cognition. Oh! Yes!
Baby! Oh! Yeah. You know the one that's the FaB that's one per like not many yeah, one per heaps of boosters. Well, we just got that one. So which is worth like a few $100, yeah?
Yeah. Yep. And now that people are kind of contemplating that unlimited sets may go out of print, probably worth a little bit more.
And I imagine that I'm definitely gonna play this in
slot it into Old Mate Bravo.
Yeah, just because I want to play with it. I don't know if it's actually like I'm not 100% sold on it, but that's because I don't understand the game well enough to utilize the scry mechanic.
Yeah.
So like I'm not going to get as much advantage as maybe like a particularly good player at using the scry.
Yeah, it is hard to evaluate. Like scry is a little bit less valuable in FaB than it is in Magic, because in Magic you just get hosed so much harder if you brick on a single draw because you're drawing one card each turn. But at the same time, if you have effectively what this is a land that comes into play untapped and has enters the battlefield scry. 2, which is pretty good, even if scry is a little bit less valuable in this game.
Ooh, I have a video. I am happy with my life choices. Any packs to open.
Well, you know, that paid for the case, so that's nice.
Good. All right, so we're just going to finish this off with a Command and Conquer.
Yeah. We got two whole boxes there to go now.
That's so good.
That's really great.
Have you opened a FaB?
No. I have not. You have opened one on my behalf, but I have not opened one.
You've acquired a FaB via the packs that you own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pedal to the metal, silver the tip.
And foil rare?
Chucking in the foil rare pile.
Yeah, well, this booster box, no Command and Conquer. Okay, though. Still okay with that. So we had Ophidia, then we've got 2 foil super rares in Tomb of the Arknight and Induction Chamber. Then we had 2 mythics in Teklo Core and Sonic Boom. Then 3 super rares, Endless Arrow, Tomb of Aetherwind, and Become the Arknight. And then some foil rares.
Well, yeah, I have a video, paid for the case. Everything else is gravy.
Everything else is gravy.
And I'm definitely feeling a bit of a Viserai deck coming on here. Considering that, so you're playing at a Highlander event tomorrow. And you're not going to be playing the deck that we've been working on for a while, which you enjoy playing a lot, which is an Artifacts deck, which got described today as, what was it? Tribal Game Actions?
Yeah, tribal game actions.
So I wouldn't say that Runeblade is quite tribal game actions, but it's getting close. Like Runeblade's all about trying to extend your turns. Although Viserai is a little bit more, as I said, about kind of coalescing around these rune chant bombs and then exploding them at your opponent. But I could see you enjoying Viserai, I think. Might have to kit you up with a good Viserai deck because you've picked up quite a few of the important pieces in these boxes already.
Well, I'll have enough cards that I might actually even be able to trade cards to. I might have some that you don't have 3 of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be cool to do some actual trading.
Bit of trading in this trading card game.
Yeah. All right, box number 3.
Plunderun to start off. That's a good one. Spellblade Assault and Optech Hal Monocle. I suppose maybe they're trying to like play on the Teklo thing with Optech. I don't know. Anyway. Optical Monocle. Red Fate for Scene, also a good start to the pack.
Yep.
Silver the Tip. Stir the Ether Winds, and I thought that was a legendary. Anytime you see an equipment in the foil slot, it's like, ooh, no.
It is a foil comment, Nalroad.
Still, very playable. Nullroot equipment. I'd put that aside. Like, I mean, it's not going to be worth more than $5, but $5 for a foil common's pretty good, and you're definitely going to play that.
Yeah. We've been testing a little bit, and that's one of the sideboard cards against anything that has arcane damage.
Doing the old arcane ooze.
Take cover.
Plunderun. And a blue Ravenous Rabble. Not the best of the Ravenous Rabbles. But yeah, you're definitely picking up your fair share of Plunderuns here, which is good. So what am I feeling out of this box? I think this might be the Command and Conquer box.
I think so too.
I think the Legendary might be in the last box though.
I think so.
If we get one. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be... I don't know if there is one usually in a case when there's a Fabled, but...
Well, it might have got replaced with the Eye of Ophidius. So.
Exactly, yeah. Pursuit of Knowledge, that's a nice super rare. Yeah. And a foil Sikkim Shot. I have a foil Pursuit of Knowledge, which is just a gorgeous card. Like, all of the bright colours in that art just looks so nice in foil.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Cognition Nodes, Pour the Mold, and a foil Pedal to the Metal. Triple Mechanologist that time.
Have you played much Limited of this set?
No, I haven't, but I have heard not the best things because of how important Null Rune equipment is. That if you miss on your Null Rune equipment, then you can just get absolutely demolished by Wizard.
Yeah, I can see that. Alright.
Another 3 of a kind.
3 of a kind, Mythic. Put that on here.
And a Fervent Forerunner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so this is unlimited, so it means that there's no
cold foils. Yeah. That 3 of a kind, having 2 of those definitely means that you can put together a Lexi deck as well with some of the Aria cards that you got, because that's probably one of the key non-Aria cards that you want in your Lexi decks. Absorbing Ether, Reduce to Rune Chant, and a Moon Wish. Oh, that Eye of Ophidia, so good.
So yeah. Just, thank you hanging out in the background here. Just
Either Spindle. And a foil Push the Point. So 1 Majestic. Oh, we're not even halfway through the box. I thought we only had those like 3 packs at the back left. I was like, this is a bit lean.
Oh, a bit lean.
A red Plunderun and another Voltic Bolt in the foil.
if
Yeah.
you were going to play like a Road to Nationals,
Yep.
weekend, what deck would you be playing?
I think Prism. I think there are some really powerful Lexi and Briar builds out there, but they just at the moment where I'm at with them is slightly inconsistent. So red take cover, pedal to the metal, and Scalding Rain. Yeah. Yeah. So I just feel like Prism is kind of consistent, and I know what it's doing, and I feel confident in it every turn. Whereas sometimes I draw hands with my Lexi and Briar decks at the moment. I'm like, yeah, I need to tune this a bit better. But I think both of those heroes have the capacity to get there. Induction Chamber for another super rare, and Pour the Mold. Yeah, Bravo's also really strong. I think Brute, a lot of people have been working on Brute because Brute is a natural counter to Prism, which is a very strong deck in the meta at the moment. And that's one of the reasons that I perhaps wouldn't necessarily play Prism, is that it is a bit hunted at the moment in the meta. People are looking for ways to beat it. And Brute is a way to do that, but I just am not really into rolling dice and introducing more randomness back into my game that has a bit less randomness in it.
Fair. Brute has dice mechanics?
Yeah, it has dice rolling as one of its core mechanics, and random discards and random banishes and stuff.
Okay.
Which is fine, but not my cup of tea. Some people just love the rush. You might enjoy it. Absorb in either. Oath of the Arknight and a foil hamstring shot. Also playable. Also very good against Chain. Yeah, the Brute legendary equipment from the first set was roll a dice. You gain action points equal to the number rolled divided by 2 rounded down. So if you roll a 1, you've wasted your action point for the turn. But if you roll a 6, you get 3 action points.
That's a Thomas Toledo style deck.
Rapid Fire for the Super Rare.
And a yellow.
A foil yellow FaB name, which, could occasionally see some play in Prism. Just because it's a yellow, and Prism wants as many yellows as possible.
Defends 0 cost defends for 3 and opt 1. But is a yellow.
Yeah. The 0 cost defense reactions, the power of them generally is that you can get 4 block out of them, which is kind of above what most cards can block for. So blocking for 3 is not as good, but obviously it's a yellow, so you get the benefit of it being a yellow in your deck. A foil, a Blood Spill Invocation. So what are we looking at here? We've got the Rapid Fire, Pursuit of Knowledge, and Induction Chamber for the super rares, and just the 1 Majestic. So there's still room for that Command and Conquer. Poison the Tip. Pedal to the Metal, rather. And Back Alley Breakline. Quite a confusing card, but I often think, oh, that could work, and it's very limited in what it actually does.
Yeah, that looks confusing. I reckon this is Command and Conquer.
That's Command and Conquer? Alright.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Nebula Blade. Oath of the Arknight. And nope, take cover. Oh, is it a foil though? Oh, I thought it was. It's a generic red.
Foil rare. Close. Close.
Still, foil red Plunder Run. Red Plunder Run, probably one of the most played rares from this set, so foil of it. Nice. It's just a really strong card. 0 for +3 and potentially draw a card. Absorb in either. Blazing Aether for your second Majestic, and foil Endless Arrow for foil super rare.
Super rare.
So you are getting a lot of Kano and a lot of... Oh, you're getting a lot of all of them, actually. I was going to say a lot of Kano, a lot of Azalea, because you got the double 3 of a kind, double Endless Arrow. But you got a bit of stuff for Vizrai, a few bits and pieces, double Induction Chamber for Dash and the Teklo Core. So it's all spread pretty well. Chanting Melody and foil Lead the Charge. Yeah, anyone who's played kind of like a glass cannon wizard class in an RPG or anything, kind of the wizard in this is very much like that. It's all just about big damage output and flames. Foil Lead the Charge again, but this time yellow. A little red Fate for Scene in there I saw. Either Spindle and Tome of the Arknight number 3. And a foil Crown of Dichotomy. Again, I thought that was a legendary for a second. But it's still, rainbow foil equipment. Yeah, very playable in Vizrai, very playable in all the Rune Blades actually. It's just a nice piece of equipment. It's got Arcane Barrier, it's got a relevant activated ability. It's just straight up better than Null Rune Hood. Take cover, perish the metal, foil headshot.
Foil headshot.
Bang. Also playable. Arena's Prayer, either Spindle, and a foil Vigor Rush. Yeah, our friends at Team Covenant, I don't know if you know Team Covenant, they were a kind of a game store in Oklahoma in the US, and they've been really great content creators for a long time. They made a lot of Netrunner content, and they've done heaps of video streaming and other stuff about lots of other different games, non-MTG games. They've got into FaB as well, and watching some of their videos was part of what convinced me to take the plunge, actually. And I had Stephen from Team Covenant, one of the guys, come on and do a episode with me of The Winning Agenda a couple of months ago. They just did a great video this week breaking down card design in FaB and like the fundamentals of how to evaluate cards. And it was just a really great look at some of the basic cards and how the values compare in terms of pitch value to cost to block value to strength of attack and things like that, and how the game's balanced.
I should check that out.
Yeah. Stir the Aetherwinds. Tome of the Aetherwind, so another wizard super rare.
And a foil blue
Arena's Prayer. So another Tome of the Aetherwind. You got 2 of those and 3 Tome of the Arknights. You got lots of books to read.
Yeah, lots of books to read. Yeah, so we got 1 foil super rare in this one, 2 Majestics, 5 regular super rares, and then a couple of 4 foil rares, as well as some cool, maybe relevant foil commons there.
Yeah. So probably like the leanest of the 3 boxes so far, but still some cool and different and interesting things. I mean, I'd say that one wasn't quite as good as the second box.
Yeah, is that because it didn't have one of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put that one.
Just gonna put that one there. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, just
just don't accidentally bend it in half.
Bang. Alright. I've got a lot of
booster pack wrappers.
Yeah, just piling up behind me.
You nearly bent the eye of a video in half.
We'll just put it on top of that pile. That would be quite the video. Check out this idiot. Okay.
All right, here we go. Command and Conquer, come on.
Come on, Command and Conquer.
Come on, you lunatic. Where are you hiding? Absorbing either. Lesson in Lava for the old Subaru. And a foil Ridge Rider shot red. It's nice to get those attacks in red in foil. Something worse than getting like these blue attacks that you're never going to play in blue in foil. It's so dispiriting. Get those reds in there. Either Spindle, either Sink, and Force Sight. Not a great one. Yeah, Lesson in Lava is an interesting card. That one's almost worth reading out.
Lesson in Lava. I can read this one out. Okay. It's a Kano specialization. 1 cost, pitches for 2. Deal 3 damage to target opposing hero. If Lesson in Lava deals damage, you may search your deck for a wizard card with cost equal to or less than the damage dealt by Lesson in Lava. Reveal it, then shuffle your deck and put it on top of your deck. So it is a 1 cost, deal 3, and if it hits them, then you get to search, get to choose for something, put it on top of your deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then if you have a look through your token pile for the Kano token, you can see the kind of synergies going on there.
Yeah, cool.
But we can look at that later. Plunder Run red, take cover, and drawn to the dark dimension. Yeah, there's something kind of alluring about trying to chain together heaps of different direct damage spells with Kano. I can see why people, do enjoy playing it and taking it to tournaments. It's one of those things where it forces people to dedicate sideboard slots to null rune equipment. And if you're in a metagame where people just aren't, they think they can get away with not having null rune in their sideboard, you can just come in and blow some people up with Kano.
Speaking of null rune.
Yeah, is that a foil?
Yeah.
Say your second foil null rune boots, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Over the tip. Red Moonwish.
CNC, where are ya?
So Command and Conquer, which is one of the cards that we're looking for. For those that don't know Command and Conquer, which I'm going to assume is not many of the people watching this video, but if there is someone that doesn't know Command and Conquer, what does it do, Jesse?
So it's a 2 cost, 6 attack, generic attack action, blocks for 3, and it says defense reactions can't be played to Command and Conquer's chain link, which means that basically when you attack with Command and Conquer, they can't play defense reactions to defend against it. And if Command and Conquer hits, destroy all cards in the defending player's arsenal. Which, now that Lexi has 2 arsenal slots, there it is. There it is. It's all I had to do was just say the card text.
Alright, this Command and Conquer. What the most expensive Majestic in this set, I assume?
Yeah, I think it might be the most expensive Majestic in the game. It's about 100 to 130 bucks.
Yeah.
And just if you do watch that Team Covenant video, which I highly recommend to anyone who's watching this, where they kind of analyze and break down the 4 corners of each FaB card and how they're designed, you'll see that one of the cards they talk about is a generic common called Brutal Assault, which is a 2 cost 6 attack vanilla. That's red. So, add a foil FaB for C. What a pack!
It was a good pack.
So, Command and Conquer is basically just strictly better than Brutal Assault. But not only is it strictly better in one way, like sometimes you get Majestics or higher rarity cards that either have a keyword and are slightly better than the generic, or they have a keyword but they lose 1 defense value, for instance. They block for 2. Command and Conquer doesn't lose anything. It blocks for 3, it attacks for 6, and it's got 2 really relevant abilities. One, it's hard to block, and the other is a really strong on-hit effect that can potentially net you 1 or 2 cards. So it's just really above rate for the way that FaB cards are designed. It's just a really strong card.
Mm. And the foil red FaB for Told as well.
FaB for Scene, yep.
Yeah, FaB for Scene.
Very strong. Another generic, can play it in any deck, and just a really good defense reaction. And an Endless Arrow. So you got your playset of Endless Arrows there. 3 of those. This is sweet. Oh, I'm so glad you got a Commander Conquer and an Eye of Ophidia. That is an amazing case.
I love it. I love it. Take cover.
Absorb an Aether.
Yeah.
And foil Forked Lightning.
Forked Lightning.
So you could definitely look at pulling off some Kano shenanigans. Well, almost. But you could probably build a Blitz Kano deck. So Blitz is the FaB format, which is 2 of each card. And it's 40 cards. 40 card decks with only equipment sideboards, no card sideboards. And Kano is pretty good in Blitz. Even though with an equipment sideboard, basically everybody has the option to have a null rune sideboard without eating into other sideboard slots. Kano's still pretty strong. Kano's one of the only heroes, maybe the only hero, that starts with less than 40 life in Classic Constructed and less than 20 life in Blitz. And that's because Kano is very, very strong. Null rune Blitz over the Arknight, either Spindle, and a foil Reverberate again. But yeah, you've almost got 2 of all of the key Kano cards. You've at least got 1 of them all, I think. And a nice little red FaB for Scene.
Yeah.
Definitely construct some decks with that. And a foil rare. Get that on the pile. Look at that. Look at that Eye of Ophidia just staring at us. Both of the Arknight, Plunder Run, and a Searing Shot. You've also got quite a few, not only the Azalea Majestics, you got 2 3 of a kind, 3 of the Endless Arrow in super rare. You got Red in the Ledger and a Knock the Death Whistle, and you've got quite a few of the nice Azalea arrows in foil as well, the common ones. So if you're really feeling masochistic one day, you could put together an Azalea deck.
Why masochistic for Azalea?
Oh, it's just it's very difficult to win consistently with Ranger. So Ninth Blade of the Blood Oath, another nice Viserai / Runeblade attack, super rare. Back alley Breakline for the slightly confusing card. Yeah, so the thing about Ranger is that you don't have a weapon that can attack on its own, which is fine. Like lots of other classes also have weapons that don't attack necessarily. But your attack action cards can only be played from your arsenal. So your weapon is a bow that lets you put cards into your arsenal to then attack with. But because your arsenal is also a game zone that you want to be using for other things, it can get a bit clunky. Plus, the restriction on needing to use your weapon to play your attack action cards means you can't chain an attack action card from your hand and then a weapon attack. so you're kind of a bit more restricted with what you can do on your turn. So Azalea gets around that a bit by having these reload cards that let you, they're non-attack actions or defense reactions that say if you have no cards in your arsenal, they let you put a card in your arsenal, which is a way that you can then chain together multiple attacks, because otherwise your weapon limits you to 1 arrow per turn that you can load up. But the problem is you've got to have the right mix of reload cards and arrows in every hand. And also, if you run out of arrows in your deck, you've got no more attacks. Like, you literally can't attack anymore.
I see.
So it has kind of a few things going against it, but it is fun and has kind of a high ceiling. It just is a little bit more inconsistent and a little bit harder on the defensive side as well. It's got a lot of the good disruption that Bravo has, for example, like Guardian. It's kind of like a mini Guardian in terms of design space. So rather than needing to crush and hit for 4 in order to get your disruptive effects, you only need to hit, but your attacks are smaller and you don't defend as well. So that's kind of the trade-off.
Oh, okay, cool. I can see why it would be kind of confusing or difficult to get off consistently.
Yeah, for sure. Also the fact that your arrows tend to be your block 3s, but you also need your arrows to be able to do anything on your turn.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just play a deck full of arrows, but then you're kind of restricted to 1 attack per turn because you've got no reload cards. So you kind of do need to play the reload cards as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a difficult one. Enchanting a melody and a nice little red plunder run and a foil index for the pretty sweet looking artwork. So we've only at the moment got 1 wizard and 1 mechanologist, but we now have 2 rangers and we have 3 rune blades. So there's a bit of speculation about who the heroes are going to be in the next set. Bless me. Whether we're going to see a mechanologist wizard, maximum velocity, very nice. Is that a foil?
Nope. This is no. Zap.
Foil zap.
Alright.
2 packety packs left. So have we got 2 foil super rares in this box?
We've got 1 foil super rare and then 1 foil FaB and 1 foil null road boots.
Okay. So I feel like we've still got an open slot for at least a majestic, because we've only got the 1 majestic in the box. Potentially a foil majestic.
So we could open a pack with another Command and Conquer and a foil Command and Conquer? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, so we could play.
Spellblade Assault. Reduced to Rune Chant. Foil Plunder Run. Playable, but not a huge hit. I mean, we've already got an Iva-Fidia, we've already got a Command and Conquer. Like this, you've already got more than your case's value by far in those 2 cards. But you know, you always want one more, right?
You know, gotta reach for the stars.
Camera's going all blurry. All right, Sturdy Early Winds take cover and a foil take aim for one of those aforementioned reload cards.
You thought there were just 2 packs left, but at that point there were actually...
there were 4? Oh, cheeky.
Cheeky.
A little cheeky stack.
Yeah. Alright, that's an ultimate pack.
Life for life.
And there's that
Sonic Boom, Majestic number 2.
Yep.
And Either Flare.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I reckon you got a Blitz Kano deck here for sure.
Sonic. Ooh.
Because there will be probably a Blitz constructed season. The skirmish season that's coming up is going to be split between Tales of Aria Draft and Blitz constructed. Um,
Okay.
I think most of the Australian events are going to be draft because Blitz isn't super popular here, but might be one or two Blitz tournaments to go to. Cognition Nodes, Plunder Run, and a Salvage Shot to finish off. So no legendary, but a fabled. So
Can't complain. Can't complain.
cannot complain since some of the legendaries are worth like $80 and Iverfiddy is about 400.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, cool. So we got a couple good foils in there, as well as a foil super rare. The obviously very desirable Command and Conquer, and a Sonic Boom, as well as 3, 4, 5 super rares, and a couple of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foil rares. So yeah, pretty happy
nice
with
box
this.
to finish off.
Yeah, nice box to finish off, and this one straight into the deck.
Do you want to run through the Majestics from the case?
Sure, let's do that. So
Or Majestics and Super Rares if you want. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna put these ones here. Let's have a look in here. So I'm gonna put this in the Majestic pile. Super rare, or Majestics, some super rares. I've got this one here. We got some super rares, couple Majestics, and yep, they're foil rares. Yep. And then this one here, we got 3 Majestics in this box. It's some super rares, and then there was some foil rares. So in the Majestic slot, we've got this card.
Red in the Ledger.
Yeah.
3 of a kind. That's the foil one, isn't it?
Yep. Foil 3 of a kind.
A Mordred Tide. A Sonic Boom. Teklo Core. Blazing Aether. Another 3 of a kind. I have a Phidia for the big hit. Command and Conquer. And Sonic Boom number 2.
So pretty good there. Pretty good haul.
9 Majestics and a Fabled. And 2 double ups in the 3 of a kind and the Sonic Boom. You did kind of, it is a bit of a flavour fail to only get 2 3 of a kinds.
That is right.
And Knock the Death Whistle. Tome of the Arknight, which I think we got 3 of in the end. Same with the Endless Arrow.
Of the Arcanite. Oh, hang on. Tomb of
Aetherwind and Tome of the Arknight. Yeah, so one's Wizard, one's Runeblade.
Yeah.
Become the Arknight. Viscerai Specialization. Tome of the Aetherwind number 2. Tome of the Arknight number 3.
Another. Yep. Did I miss the other?
It's up the top near you. Yeah.
Because the foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That one.
Induction Chamber number 2. The other one's foil.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Knowledge. Endless Arrow number 2. Foil as well. Maximum Velocity. Endless Arrow number 3. After the 9th Blade of the Blood Oath. Double Rusted Relic. Next to the tome. Yeah, there you go. And Lesson in Lava. So pretty good. Triple Tome of the Arknight, triple Endless Arrow. 2 of the more playable Majestics, I reckon. And then definitely a few other good ones.
Yeah.
Sweet case. What up, man? Did you enjoy?
I did enjoy it. That was fun.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Then my cat's just to the off screen enjoying playing with some booster uppers.
Excellent stuff. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.